guys. I wanted to talk about something for a minute that I've seen on a lot of car shows, and it really bugs me. I have a thing about fender covers and using them. It might be from my past or something, or it might be just me being really particular. Better safe than sorry is the way I feel about it. I don't know how many times you've dropped a wrench on your fender and took a chunk out of your paint, right? I've done it, excuse me. Well, I came up with a pretty good solution for a set of fender covers, and I don't want to buy $80, $100 pair of fender covers. And when I use a fender cover, I like having two of them, so I can just put one on each fender. I don't have to move things around back and forth or any of that stuff. So one of the things about Mopars is that a lot of them have a sharp edge on the inside of the fender edge, and the top of the fender is not very wide. So if you try to lay a fender cover over that, you have to put so much of it in on the inner fender that you barely have anything on the outside of the fender for where you might lean against it with your legs or bump a tool against it or something like that. So I'm going to show you the solution I came up with, and I think you'll enjoy it. All right, here we go. What I've got here is just a regular inexpensive Edelbrock Racing type thin fender cover. They work good, except you got to put so much of the inside or the top of the fender cover inside the fender to get them to stay on. And then when you do that, it makes a nice rounded thing like that where you can't really set much of anything. So I came up with a solution for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip the camera down here so that you can see what I'm doing instead of looking at my ugly face. So hold on just a second. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to make sure I'm doing the right edge. I want to do the top, and I want to roll it towards the back. So I'm going to do it on the kitchen table here. Be easy to see. So I just fold it over and get it kind of lined up with the edge of the table as a little bit of a reference. And then I take a piece of 1/2 inch steel, structural box steel like this, and I'm going to I cut it to length already, so it's just inside the rubber on both ends. Okay, so then I'm going to lay this about the width of the bar inside the edge, and I can tell that by folding up this edge, and I want it to come up to the top of the bar, so we'll do a little more here. Okay, that's about right, maybe just a hair more. Okay, and then what I do is I take a tube of my my black weather strip adhesive, and I'll go along the edge of this bar on my side with a bead of this. And it helps because the bar kind of helps you stay where you need to be. Gives you a line to go by. You just go right across there with a bead of that. And I like to go back over it, dragging the tip so it spreads it out just a little. And then we'll put the top back on this. And set it down over here. Okay, now while it's still wet, I want to roll the bar towards me and get it real close to the edge, and then press it down just like that. Get both surfaces wet. The contact cement works best if you let it dry a little bit first. So now while that's doing that, I'll go ahead and put it back so I can continue here. Anyway, Next thing I do is I'll grab the 3M weather strip adhesive again, and I'll go along your side the same way. Nice bead along there. Just like that. I don't know if you can see it or not, but going back over it with the tip of the tube kind of spreads it out just a little bit. So now I'm going to roll the tube over onto that. And it's okay if this edge comes loose a little bit. It's not a problem. It'll stick right back down even better when it dries a little more. Okay, so now I'm going to roll the bar back like it was and let that set up just a little bit. On this side, I got a little on me there. No worries. Okay, now the original edge that the glue went down on, it's sticking pretty well now. It could stand to stick a little better, but I'm gonna go ahead and press it down anyway. Press that down. And then whatever comes loose right here, you can just go back and press it back up there as the contact cement dries. Weather strip adhesive, same thing basically. Okay. Get that on there. Okay, now I didn't get quite to the edge right there, so I might go back over that. Just open it up just a little bit. And run a small bead down inside there. Just like that. Right along the edge of the bar. And that should do it. Okay. Now when I press it back up there, it'll stay better. Got some leakage there. I'm going to put it on the bar because we're going to glue this side of the bar anyway. Where did all that come from? Huh. It's like my brother used to say about the roofing tar stuff. He said, 1 minute it's on the heel of your shoe and the next minute it's in your hair. Okay, that'll work out good because I can press that down tighter later. Just want to get it on both surfaces. Okay, now I'm going to go along the inside of this again and make another bead there. It doesn't take a whole lot, just about an 1/8 inch wide bead is fine. And I don't go all the way to the end. Drag back across that. And there we go. A little light right there. Okay, now I'm going to roll this whole thing over onto that. That'll give me the chance to get this back down again. Okay, now that that's wet and everything, I'm going to pull it back and I'm going to go across the top of the bar this time because that'll be our last seam that we're going to glue down. Oh, there's where that came from. I got a leak in my tube. Oh no. Okay, so now I'm going to go right across the top of the bar. Just like that. wiper, spread it out a little bit. Okay, and I think we're done with the glue. So now I'm going to roll it onto the part that I did a minute ago, and that'll stick pretty good. You can see, if I roll this back towards me, you can see how it tries to pull the fender cover up. So it is actually sticking pretty well. So now I'm going to go ahead and roll it over onto the last one. Oh, you know, I take that back about this being the last seam. This is how I did my last set. And I might tell you what happened to those. They had an accident. No, I didn't spill anything on them. They didn't get stolen or anything like that. And they are still usable, but not like I made them. They got changed accidentally. Okay, so now that I've got that where it's sticking down pretty well, I'm going to go on the inside of that now with one more bead. Right along here, about probably that far out from the this edge when it rolls over, because I want one more rollover on the edge. Okay, now one more. If I can do it without making a total mess of myself here. Okay, and we'll just go right in that. Missed it a little bit, so I'm going back for it. And I think that's got it. Okay, now I'm going to press this all down along here one more time, along this edge. And then I'm going to go ahead and roll it over onto the newest glue, just like that. You might see where this is going now, but let me tell you something you might not realize. After this is done, this will give an edge to hang on the inside of a lot of the cars we have a sharp-edged fender on the inside and a fairly narrow top, so it's hard to get the fender cover to stay where you want it. So what this does is it gives something with some substantial little weight and a nice sharp edge to hook to the inside of the fender. And the other benefit is when you're done with them, you go to put them away, you just roll them up. And I keep mine in right under my jack, up leaning up on the inner fender in my trunk. And then when I need them, I just take them out and unroll them, hook this on the inside of the fender, and it works out really, really well. Okay, now I'm about done here, and I'll show you how this works. If it'll hang on my table like that, it'll stay on your fender. Okay, well, since you made it to the end of that part on the fender covers, I'm going to tell you what happened to my old ones. I loaned them out to somebody, and they were using them for a few weeks on their car, and they taped them to the inside of the fenders with blue painter's tape. And what happened was, since the blue painter's tape was on there for so long, the glue on the tape actually ate into the rubber of the fender cover. So when we tried to pull the tape off the fender cover, it tore the whole surface of the tape, of the fender cover off with it. So since it was a good friend and he felt pretty bad about it and everything, he bought me a new set of fender covers. So the ones he has are still usable. They'll be good for him to use when he needs them and everything. And then I have the ones I had back in the condition that they were. So now what we've got, that's the story on the fender cover. Now, when I mentioned rolling these up to put them away, so what I do is I'll just roll them up like this. And then I can store them in my car in the trunk, and they don't get bent or wrinkled or ugly marks or anything like that on them. They stay real nice. Okay, well, that's it. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Come back again, and I'll see you soon. Be safe out there.